Afternoon everyone, AMR Academy here. So in this video I'm going to be showing you how to kind of create something like this, okay? So this was the first sculpture I ever did. If you've just watched my introduction to sculpture video, it gave you a brief insight into the kind of methodology behind putting something like this together. But in this video, let's check out how it's actually done, okay? So if you like what you see, keep watching. Let's get to it. Okay, so the wall's done. The light might just make this look a bit naff, but see, I've added quite a bit more detail onto the kind of fungus in there. Chucked in some mushrooms growing off this little guy. His face has come out quite well. I'm quite pleased with how his expression looks. Twisty little mushroom caps, and again I've added some more kind of fungusy bits in there. And then finally I actually got some of these like fake leaves off some of our fencing outside. I don't know if you can kind of see it there, the lighter stuff. So some of those are blown off in the wind, and I basically went and fetched some of them and I've kind of just stuck them in. And then we're ready to kind of put in a load of flowers and bits and bobs as well, so you can kind of see here the kind of look we're going for. And the general idea is that this little guy ended up becoming some angry little stump, and Orbs came along and tried to teach him a lesson and basically let this beautiful big flower grow out of his head, which made him quite annoyed and angry. And then we're going to have a lovely little kind of very colourful and bright garden all the way around here, walled little garden, so you can kind of see here. We're going to have a big sunflower on the top there, and you can see there's some holes already there for the purple flowers, and again it's kind of the orange and purple theme of Orbs. You can kind of see from the back the look of him, and I've put a nice little detail in there. So on that particular brick there we've actually got my fingerprint. I don't know if you can kind of see it, but it's just a little ode to the artiste. And then if you can see here, down here in my little box of tricks, I've got a lot of different kind of little fake flowers to kind of play with and see what we can do with it. So I'll keep you guys posted, but I'm about to spray it up with some of this stuff. So a little matte varnish just to seal it, and then I will spray it up with some black, some just again a matte black, and then I'll start painting it properly, dry brushing and using some different kind of washes and stuff to get the final effect. But I'll kind of keep you guys posted anyway for now. But this is me and Angry Stump signing off. Okay, so just done a first coat with the black. As you can see, starting to pick out, well, what I'm after is trying to get basically as much dark into these kind of nooks and crannies as I can. So when I come to kind of paint it with the acrylics, it'll kind of pick out all those dark areas and those little nooks and crannies that we want. So, I mean, you can see it's far from perfect as a first coat. You can still see some of the kind of clay colour coming through anyway, but we'll get further into this with a couple more coats and then let it dry. It's drying already quite quickly, so I'll come back to that in a bit. I'm going to have a brew. Back in a minute. Okay, so I've been doing a bit more work on this little guy, and he's certainly starting to kind of look a bit closer to where I want him to be. So we've laid down some kind of base coats, just, you can kind of see there, just a flat green, and what I'm doing at the minute is I'm kind of basically dry brushing. So I thought I'd kind of just show you guys how we do that. So what it does is, it actually kind of picks out all the kind of raised areas. So what we do, I'll just run you through it. So what we're going to do is we're going to dry brush the area. You can see kind of here, try and get me brush in there. I've kind of started on this piece, so we lay down a darker colour and then we kind of go over the top with the lighter colour. So I have my little pot here. I'm going to try and do this whilst I've got you guys on. So you can basically get some paint on your brush, and it seems quite wasteful, but then all you're doing is you kind of basically take off the excess. Okay, and you really want to take off quite a lot, so you're left with hardly any on there, so it's quite what we call dry. And then all we're going to do, I'm trying to do this whilst I've got this filming in one hand and painting with the other, but you can kind of see here what it does. So basically what we do is it starts picking out the raised areas and leaves the darker ones in that lovely dark colour that we've got on there. And as you kind of, I mean, I've been doing this a bit quicker, but as you kind of work your way up, you can kind of see how it kind of picks out all that lovely definition that you've done with your sculpt. So, you know, it really does, it's worth taking the time. So I thought it might be a good idea to actually kind of explain to you guys the idea behind the moss. With this particular sculpt, I was originally going to use some kind of artificial flowers and just kind of pepper those all across the top of the sculpture when I was done. And I got to thinking, and I thought, you know, it might look kind of a bit fake, a bit tacky and stuff. So I actually, I just thought, I know what I'm going to do, I'll give it a go. I'm in kind of experimentation mode. So I decided to actually try some real moss. I was expecting it to kind of die and wither and go brown, but so far it seems to be okay. And what I actually did was I collected some moss and I basically super glued it to the actual sculpture directly, and it gave it that lovely natural look. And that's now kind of prompted me with a lot of my other sculptures to try and include like more naturally just found out and about when I'm on walks, you know, with the family, whether it be sticks, rocks, pebbles, moss, different things, you know, collect them, bring them back and see if I can actually use them. It actually kind of makes it a bit more fun. You know, you're always out and you're kind of collecting things. It's, you know, you're including it with a lot of stuff that you're doing. So, so yeah, I'll actually show you guys where I got it from. So we'll just sneak out of here. So I'm in my kitchen at the minute. This is my kitchen. So we'll nip outside and I'll show you where I got it from. So we'll do a little sneak, a cheeky sneak. I'll just go out the back door here. You see my little garden. So as you can see, we've actually got these kind of lovely brick pillars here, okay? And what I did was on each one of these pillars is kind of come, I'm hoping you guys can see this, but basically come onto here and kind of gather just the moss off the top. So, you know, I went just literally along each one of these brick things and just kind of gathered the moss. Now there is some more that's kind of grown, but you can kind of see, I'll try and show you again. So you can see in here and all these kind of little nooks and crannies, and then up on the top here. So, you know, it's making use of what you've got, and to be fair, it turned out amazing. You know, I'm so pleased with how it actually turned out. So I suppose, you know, it's all about experimentation, give things a go, and you never know. It may still die, but hey, I can try and tend to that when it comes to it. You know, if needs be, I'll have to maybe paint over the top of the actual of the moss, but I can go for that or try something different. But for now, it looks brilliant and I'm really pleased with it. So try new things, give it a go, okay? Boom, see you soon.